This week, we discuss Karen and Chimney's drunk bonding over Hen's betrayal.
Michael's elevator meet cute with David.
And how Athena's lone wolf routine doesn't work out for her this time around.
Have you ever watched something that completely rewired your brain chemistry?
A procedural network drama might not be your usual pick, but it's ours.
This is The Buddie System, a 911 yapathon hosted by three friends who have DM'd each other enough character dissertations to earn a PhD in media literacy.
I'm Han, coming to you straight from the characters' heads.
I'm Sil, bringing you to the observation deck.
And I'm Rachel, connecting the dots with my red string.
With our powers combined,
no stone is left unturned.
And no Buddie is left behind.
This episode brought to you by Teppanyaki. Welcome to Dispatch. What's on call this week?
This week we're discussing Season 3, Episode 17, Powerless, written by Lindsay Bolio and Kristen Rydell, also directed by Kristen Rydell, and the director of photography is our man Joaquin Cedillo. It aired on May 4th, 2020. Still the bad times.
All right, so our calls of the week. The first one we have is Up, Up, and Away, where a mother and daughter's plans for a morning hot air balloon ride get swept away, literally, when the winds pick up and the daughter gets whisked away on the breeze, alone in the basket, before the balloon was able to get grounded. Our next one is I Am the Lorax, I Speak for the Trees. A woman steals a tree trimming truck, but her joyride gets cut short when she runs into power lines, electrocuting herself and taking out the power to half of the city. Then we have How Cool Is It?
Ice cold.
Ice cold. Thank you for that enthusiastic call and response. Awesome.
That was very cold.
It was frigid. That was a frigid call and response. How cool is it?
Ice cold.
Wow. Tough crowd. Oh my God.
I didn't know it was. I wasn't looking at the notes, so that's why I was like,
You don't
I could have done it with her.
Notes?
No, because I would have done it in that same intonation. So, like,
anyway.
anyway.
Do I try one more time or no?
No.
Okay.
That's the energy you're getting from us right now. I don't know what you expected.
Just trying to.
You're thinking of your other co-hosts.
No, I'm just trying to bring some of the fun. So, how cool is it? Ice cold. Thank you. Due to the power outage, a man gets trapped in a walk-in freezer and has to try to stay warm enough to survive until the 118 come to the rescue by defibrillating the electric control panel. And our last one, which I'm including technically, is Athena on the Hunt or Hunted, where the 118 and dispatch are powerless as they listen in on a harrowing call as Athena gets attacked during her investigation of a storage unit connected to the serial rapist. Fun stuff.
Real uplifting episode, guys.
We've been saying that about every episode this season.
Well,
it's been rough.
It has been rough. 2 Fs.
It's really funny because while watching this episode, I always zone out during the fun parts for some reason.
And tune back in for the bad parts.
I don't know why. Like you would think, because as soon as the call with the guy, I don't know if they're chopping trees. I don't remember. They're trying to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as that starts, I literally like blank out. And by the time I come back in, I think they're doing the jump start on the walk-in freezer. Well, they're at the end of that.
You just like black out.
Yeah. I don't know why.
The fun part of the episode to me is honestly the Karen Chimney scene. Which is like directly after the like.
I come back for that.
the like.
I always forget that
whole
happens
attack
in this
on
episode.
Athena.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, we're really
like,
shifting tone.
Because in my brain, like the attack with Athena is like at the end of the episode. And,
you would think, yeah.
And I'm like,
but it's not.
Like the first time I was watching this and I was taking notes and I'm like, okay, it's pretty much the end of the episode now.
Yeah.
And I had
halfway
like
through the episode.
And I had like 15, 20 minutes left. And I was like, wait, huh?
No, the end of the episode is the call that you did not put in here.
Oh, well, I was going to put it
really
in for the next
episode.
one.
I know, but it's still a call.
Oh, I'm sorry. Next.
Is it a call because you don't see them there?
Kidding. I'm joking.
Don't make me talk about her 2 weeks.
It'll just be one.
Like 2 weeks, as if we aren't recording the next episode in like 2 days.
Eh.
Anyway,
Movie magic.
we started doing general thoughts. This is just very discombobulated.
We're all just go with it. This is what you get today.
Listen,
what you
it's
guys
a Thursday
get.
night after our 9 to 5s, so and very late in a Thursday night.
And we're, various stages of bodies being broken and minds being broken from just a constant deluge of behind the scenes
Oh yeah.
stuff. So you're welcome that we're here recording this.
I don't know. It's like I was on something yesterday, but that was
We all were.
We all were on something.
Yeah. It was the 911 PTS high.
A
Getting
live
fed.
stream that we were glued to and not actually like losing our shit in a bad way.
I'm sorry. Like
What
all
an
of this is
idea.
really funny.
Anyway, this episode.
Oh yeah.
What are my general thoughts? I don't think this is as rewatchable to me as a lot of the episodes in this season are. Like, normally I don't have a problem rewatching the episode like 3 to 5 times to prepare for our recordings. I guess you could say that I watched it 3 times, but I skipped over giant chunks of it every time because I was just like, it's not that it's bad. It's just that, like, as far as like character analysis goes, there's just a whole lot of nothing burger happening. It's just like events are happening and then there's not a lot of like follow up of like what emotionally is happening with people because of the events.
It's like the characters are being more reactive to the events that are happening to them rather than proactive and like making like choices that move their story forward. I'm not saying that like the story isn't moving forward, but it's like there are events happening to them and they're dealing with it rather than like they're making a choice to do this or that, which I think we saw more of in 3A.
It's also just one
3B.
of those really, really heavy-handed with the theme where it's like, they literally, how many times did they say powerless? Please hold.
I mean, I was going to say a little thing. It's not like a little thing. I was going to allude to that in production.
Okay, they say power 25 times. And they say powerless 5 times. So it's one of those just like very literal episodes. So like it's not bad. It's just like there's not a lot of like meat to dig into for our purposes. So I think that's why it was like hard for me to try and rewatch it. And because like I'm not rewatching Athena getting beat up and everyone listen to that over and over again.
That's hard.
Yeah.
I had a thought. Hold on. It's gone. Like, I mean, yeah, I don't know. For me, it's not an episode that really like really piques my interest. I mean, there like there are some fun parts, like the Karen and Chimney. That's fun.
That
That
more
scene is
Karen
good.
and Chimney, honestly.
For real.
And I think that's it as far as fun and whimsy. I know like the like giving the walk-in freezer a jump start is supposed to be fun, but like it just comes right before such a harsh or hard scene to watch. And then I mean it's like they put a lot of like these little fun things, like Michael meeting that doctor, his little meet cute, but it's still kind of like, I don't know, I don't think there's like a really good, the balance is kind of weird. I don't know how to explain it.
Like there's a little bit of everything, but the shifts are so,
I guess, abrupt or it's just
The
weird.
tone shifts are like, there's a lot of tone shifts.
because it goes from like one extreme to another
Yeah.
extreme.
Yeah. But but it's another one of those like setup or transitional episodes as well, because what really like the major event is Athena, and then the next thing that we're gonna get is train derailment,
Yeah.
cliffhanger. So those are the major, I would say, like major takeaways from this episode.
Yeah, I agree with you both. I think it's also just like a really hard or really difficult thing to do a penultimate episode. I think it kind of sits in like a weird position where it's not the season finale, so it doesn't have all of the big season finale stuff going on, but it's like leading up to it. So I think penultimate episodes have to do a lot of heavy lifting to get you from, okay, we're really transitioning from like the lion's share of the back half of this season into the season finale so we can tie it up in little bows and everything like that. So like it's a weird, what can you really do with that? I don't know. It's like you have to do a lot, and I think like this episode does a lot, but it's not one that I would continuously like go back and rewatch for like, just casually. Like I'm just throwing on, whichever episodes. I would probably pick a couple first. It doesn't mean I don't like it, but it's just like it kind of like sits in a weird spot for me. I think that's it. But like I understand why.
I also think it's just that like I hate the storylines that stem from the storyline that's happening to Athena, so that doesn't help my enjoyment of it, I guess.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense because it's like bringing it all
hanging over, the future narrative is hanging over the current narrative, I guess.
Yeah,
because it does kind of continue into like season 4, and then we get that man back in season 5,
and
just keeps going. Like, my God,
that kind of was a little bit of a downer of general thoughts, but that's what we thought.
Don't you want to go down the jaws of life too?
Save us, jaws of life. You're our only hope.
Get me out of here.
All right. Okay, transition done. Transitioned.
We're gonna need the jaws of life over here.
So I didn't really find too many or like really any articles other
too
than
many or any.
Listen. So I didn't really find any articles that came out at the time of this episode. It was all kind of like reviews and recaps, and I don't really include those as much. But there was an article from a couple weeks ago. It was with Jennifer Love Hewitt from TV Insider. And there was one little quote at the end because it was still rumored about Abby showing up. And the interviewer asked Jennifer Love Hewitt, "There's been talk of seeing Abby again. While I know nothing is confirmed, what can you say about how Maddie might feel about her brother's ex reappearing in his life?" And she responded, "It would be complicated. Maddie has to tiptoe in the Abby situation because she and her brother were strained at the time Abby was in his life. I'm sure Buck would have loved to have his sister around and talk about all of that stuff. But Maddie obviously had her hands full in her very destructive relationship and so chose to remove her family from her life for that period of time. Then when she came in, hearing about Abby and Buck's relationship, it was a nice distraction and a nice sort of, let me talk about what's going on with you versus living in my nightmare anymore." So I just thought that was a good spot to plop in because we finally see Abby, sorry, Han, at the very, very end. So just kind of like to lead into the next episode with you know who. and just to like keep on, I guess, like the top of our minds how the people who were not here for season 1, namely Maddie and Eddie, will react to Abby coming back and seeing that kind of firsthand. So just to kind of like keep that in mind, that's it. Those were my quotes. One quote. So a couple notes about production, since we're really getting into the series and now we have like writers who have written a handful of episodes. So this episode was co-written by Lindsay Bolio and Kristen Rydell. So Lindsay Bolio also wrote, just to remind everyone, she wrote 305 Rage, which dealt with a lot with the Michael stuff, and she also wrote Seize the Day, which again, I think a lot of that has to do with the Michael stuff. And then Kristen wrote or co-wrote New Beginnings from 211. She co-wrote it with Tim Minear. She wrote 213, Fight or Flight, 301, Kids Today, 307, Athena Begins, and she will end up co-writing the finale, so the next episode with Juan Carlos Cotto. So I think all of those are very pertinent thematically to this episode, just kind of like what it's dealing with. She's taken on a lot of big Athena storylines with Athena Begins, like New Beginnings and Fight or Flight has a lot of intensity in there as well. So like this is kind of par for the course for her. And she also wrote 108 Karma's a Bitch and 205 Awful People. I feel like these little, like those are the themes in her episodes that like come up the most, specifically with the lady who steals the tree trimming truck, because it was just like, I was just like, she just came out of the episode Awful People and Karma's a Bitch. Like, I'm just like, she was pulled like right from there. So I just think that's interesting that we see a lot of that kind of similarities. And this is her first directing credit on 911. It might be her directorial debut. I'm not positive on that, but it's kind of, we're starting to see with 911 that a lot of people who are on the writing staff or on the crew kind of like work their way up and are given chances to be in different roles in the production, which I think is really cool. We've seen that. I think we mentioned not too long ago, we mentioned that happened a lot with Supernatural too, just because like it's a long running show. Everyone's like very tight knit, and it's cool to see everybody have opportunities to do something kind of like different creatively. So I think that's really cool, but it's also kind of nice when the writer is also the director, because then you really kind of get like an even more streamlined version of like their point of view for the story. Now we can drop that needle, talk about the music.
Okay, not too much to talk about with music this episode. We have two funny ha-has. We have Up, Up and Away by the Fifth Dimension at the beginning of the episode for the hot air balloon emergency. And it's literally like, would you like to ride in my beautiful balloon? That's
very literal. I also loved when the music like totally cut out when the wind started blowing. It was just like record scratch almost.
Yeah.
It wasn't that, but that's how it was in my brain.
And then when the man is freezing to death and they're jump starting the mechanism to unlock it, they play Ice Ice Baby.
My question about that is, do you think they just had the Frozen in the storage freezer, the walk-in freezer, just like in their back pockets so they could use Ice Ice Baby at some point?
I was gonna
I
think I was gonna ask the same question. I was like, what comes first? The plot line, the storyline, or the song? I feel like they have a song in their pocket that they really want to use, and they're like,
I feel like they like knew or figured out that they could get the rights to this song. I was like, okay, how do we like incorporate this in a funny way?
I think one of the ideal jobs that I could do would be just coming up with out-of-pocket songs to put into episodes.
You would
like
be
for
so
soundtrack.
good at that.
I would be so good at it. But the person who like actually does it is also very good at it. But like, I'm jealous of your job.
How does one get to do that?
Yeah. So anyway, Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice. Again, no explanation really needed here. The one I do want to talk about a little bit is that plays like at the end, which is like the montage. That's like mostly Athena, but also shows Hen and Karen and Maddie and Chimney. It's The Bones by Maren Morris and Hosier.
Oh, another theme.
And I know you're thinking, a Hosier song in an episode written and directed by Kristen Rydell.
she's a fan.
She has good taste in music.
This was an excellent use of Hosier. I applaud this one. You should have stopped. You should have stopped here.
Or used Francesca.
Yes. I'll literally be like in the fucking nursing home yelling about that. Anyway, so
y'all should have gone. I don't know if he's going to LA for a concert, but it's almost like you guys should have gone for the concert. Maybe you run into right now.
I was thinking about making a custom shirt with Bobby incorporated in it.
Oh, you should.
You should.
The grave held my Bobby down.
That's how you're going to meet 911 fans. Up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we need to save like one of those fan edits and just like film us
I
playing
was
that.
debating.
Like,
I was like, should we do that or should we just have Nikki film us crying inconsolably?
Maybe both. One of us is holding up the fan edit, pressing play, and we're both just like
I know it's gonna happen.
She's gonna hate us.
She loves us. Anyway. Or I could just make a really niche shirt that's like Kristen Rydell ruined work song for me.
That'll definitely get someone's attention.
Yeah. And Hershey, PA.
Oh, yeah. The Buck fans.
Wait, how many? No, we actually like need to do something so we can like weed out all of the 911, like the Venn diagram of Hosier like fans, 911.
Okay. Do both ideas. One of you wear one and the other one wears the other. There.
Yes.
Okay. 2 designs. Got it. Nikki will just be a normal person.
She'll be like wearing the I'm with stupid shirt.
Yeah. I'm with stupid and stupider. Yeah, pretty much.
When the bones are
anyway, so yes, the song The Bones.
It's a great song.
It is a good song. The chorus is when the bones are good, the rest don't matter. Yeah, the paint could peel, the glass could shatter. Let it rain because you and I remain the same. When there ain't a crack in the foundation, baby, I know any storm we're facing will blow right over while we stay put. The house don't fall when the bones are good. Great song. It's just basically about, I mean, it could be like familial or romantic, but it's just about being able to like weather whatever comes your way, you know, because the foundation of your relationship is strong and good.
Yay.
That's all.
Hopeful.
Yeah.
I've connected the dots.
You didn't connect shit. Some of that foreshadowing, I had like 3 little bullet points for like callbacks. One of them is the Abby Omen, by the way. Just FYI.
I think callbacks is a good word for this because it kind of is all encompassing parallels and foreshadowing, right? Because it's like, it's foreshadowing by calling back to other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll call it callbacks. But the first one I have is, I'm so sorry. The first one I have is when Chimney is talking to Karen. And I mean, he says it in the text, but when Karen is worried about Hen cheating on her and saw the text on Hen's phone, and Chimney said like, "Oh, did you get her thumb to unlock the phone for you?" And Karen just looks at him like he has 3 heads, and he's like, "Why? Because that's how Buck did that to me one time when I was stabbed."
Ew. Like invasion of privacy.
Yeah.
Ew.
like she's not doing that. But so that's Chimney bringing back when he was stabbed by Doug in season 2. And then when Buck was on the mission to save Maddie, and he kind of illegally, actually very illegally took Chimney's phone and used his thumb while he was unconscious to unlock it. And I just thought that was so funny because I love when they bring stuff back like that. But also, like I mentioned just a little bit ago, Kristen Rydell also wrote 213, Fight or Flight. So it's just like she does a lot of like callbacks to her own stuff, which I think is kind of fun as well.
I'm gonna let Han do the Abby Omen. So the other callback is back in season 1 where Karen is well, it's not really a callback, but I mean, it's the idea that like Hen is cheating on Karen again. And like she recalls that the last time that they almost didn't survive it. And then there was a callback to earlier this season, I think in Rage with the Rage Room,
Yes.
where Bobby invites Michael's
Michael.
there, right? Yeah. Okay. So Bobby invites Michael to the Rage Room, and now it's like Michael repays the favor by like, oh, hey Bobby, I want to check on you. Let's tear
your
down
home.
this fireplace. Yeah.
Which
While a crack in the foundation like plays in the background.
makes
Yeah.
bigger
Just kind of
crack.
funny. Yeah.
I know. That's just pure irony. It's funny.
I think it's also funny that like we have these certain callbacks, and I feel like they're tied from like the beginning of like that arc that starts with Crazy Moon AF. So
Yes.
it's just kind of interesting.
Oh, wait. Because the Rage Room was in Rage, and Lindsay Bolio wrote that
Mhm.
also. So, like, they're both being very, like, self-referential in this episode, which is,
Good for them.
yeah, I love that.
So there's obviously some Abby callbacks / foreshadowing that she's coming back. And the very opening call of this episode, it's a hot air balloon emergency. And if you recall, in season 1, when Buck tried to take her on a hot air balloon date, and she informed him like, oh, there's a lot of calls. I get a lot of calls for these.
Mm-hmm. And then they never went.
And then he brings that up on the call.
Mm-hmm.
And someone is like, hey, Maddie tell you that? He's like, no, someone
No.
else.
Someone.
Someone else.
Like,
Just like,
they all know.
You know 2 dispatchers. Like, everyone
no,
knows.
3
that
now.
I'm-
He's friends with Josh.
Sure. Sure.
3. There's also with the down power lines from the lady that steals the tree trimming truck. And I was like, this just feels like very familiar to me. I was like, oh, because in 105 Point of Origin,
Yeah.
when Buck and Abby finally meet because they're looking for her mom, and they end up saving the girl that's like stranded in the pool because the down power lines going like zap 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 zap. So that kind of reminded me of that.
What did the power lines do again?
Zap 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 zap.
I'm not even looking at you guys. So it's just a bunch of noises.
I could have zap zap zap.
Are you gonna buzz like someone?
And
And then obviously there is literally Abby making the call to 911 that Maddie's answering at the end of this episode. That's kind of where we pick up on the next episode. So
Mhm.
it's a very literal
Abby,
not even
Omen.
foreshadowing. Like
She's
is
there.
just the lead in. Yeah, to
It's
the
not
next
an omen.
episode.
She is there.
She is
Yeah.
back.
That's terrifying, actually.
Guess who's back?
Uh,
Back again.
Hate it here.
We went a full almost 2 seasons. And then there's also kind of like actual maybe foreshadowing with losing the power and how that thrusts half
Oh,
of the
Kristen
city
Rydell was
into-
like, all right, I'm going to actually make this bigger.
yeah,
Full LA blackout
yeah.
for season
So
5 opening.
this
Opener.
no, it's the season 4. No, it's the season 5.
It's
This season 5.
Did she reuse both the fucking serial rapist and the blackout again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we done with this section?
See.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
flash on over to themes.
So I think, and like you said earlier, this is one of those episodes that has the main themes like very kind of up front and center. Like it's there.
Powerless.
It's everywhere.
Everybody
has
told me
her
I feel
power.
really powerless. There's no power. The
Which-
power lions are down.
Which I kind of feel is a little bit of how Kristen Rydell writes some of these big themes, because like in Karma's a Bitch and what was the other one? Awful People. Again, it was just like it was very in your face about it, which like is great. I love a not subtle theme because it's just like, this is what the episode is about. Here it is. And it's like, just presents itself accordingly. So that was the main theme of the episode.
Yeah.
So with power and powerlessness,
Great
there's
power comes great responsibility.
truly, where's friendly neighborhood Spider-Man when you need him? So we see this in very like literal and kind of more figurative ways, right? So we see actual technological malfunctions like the saw at the tree trimmer, the actual loss of power in half of the city, the power lines down and the outage, and yeah, the battery loss. So that continues that malfunctioning thread that we've been seeing since episode 8. And then we also kind of have like powerlessness in being trapped in circumstances beyond your control, really. So like Michael and David in the elevator, the guy in the freezer.
Yeah, it did seem like it focused on a lot of external forces that made you powerless.
Yeah, which is why I was saying like there's a lot of stuff happening to the characters rather than like them making active decisions. And it's because of that like powerlessness. And there's also with like power and powerlessness, like feeling powerful or powerless. This episode also focuses a lot on showing different ways of processing or lack thereof. So like how to reclaim your power as people who are specifically like victims of something, which we see with Josh and we see with the victims of the serial rapist that Athena interviews. Then we have kind of similar in a similar vein, like taking control. Control has also been a big theme in this season as well. So sometimes you have to like take control to like take your power back. And then we have overcoming fears.
Kind of taking control, overcoming your fears. They kind of just go hand in hand.
I would also say to go with those as well is like looking for or finding closure. We see that for Josh as well. And sometimes that is how like you reclaim the power. Then just like everything else, just like every episode, we see a lot of resilience and this aspect of just keep swimming and being adaptive to things where they kind of do, especially when things are happening to them, and parent-child relationships as well as the big one. So we also see, I know we've mentioned this before, but like kids gaining life experience or growing up or having that like shield of child, like that curtain of childhood kind of getting pulled back a little bit. We also see guilt tripping, which is kind of funny. Guilt tripping and like hostage, like quote unquote hostage situations. So like kids kind of like gaining the upper hand on their parents, like getting that power over their parents in that way. So we see that with May and Michael and Athena and the girl at the hot air balloon with her mom, that kind of stuff. Kind of like a flip of the power dynamic for parent and child, which we have been seeing as well. And then also communication, just like being openly communicative with your support system, but also kind of like literally communication and malfunctions, like at the very end when Maddie is on the at dispatch and she's trying to speak to Athena and Athena still has her mic keyed on, but Maddie can't actually talk to her. So like communication or lack thereof because of malfunction things.
Who's cooking? All right, you ready to talk about Hen and Karen?
Yeah, I love
Cool.
talking about Hen and Karen.
So we open with Hen and Karen in this episode with them in their bedroom, and we kind of get to see, it's like one of our first looks of how they're now, parenting 2 kids instead of 1 kid and what that kind of looks like. And it's a very like cutesy way of looking at like the frustration of feeling outnumbered.
Yeah, they no longer have like the power, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just also like I can imagine the dynamics of like having a new kid and you're fostering that kid and like not wanting to be like super hyper strict, but it's just really funny because Hen's like feels like, you know, like hostage negotiations or something.
Mhm.
And Karen's like, who won? And she's like, they did. Obviously.
I think you can also like see a little bit of like who's good cop, bad cop.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit. Not like they wouldn't trade off when they need to, but like I feel like Karen's a little bit more of a rule
cop.
stickler.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which you kind
As
of
a
get
mom.
from the rest of this conversation because like Karen's going over their budget and like we need to like cut back on things. And then is really upset because she sees a charge for the teppanyaki place that just hibachi, by the way, if you didn't know, like I didn't. And you were like, what is this Asian cuisine that I have been missing out on? Because Asian food is my favorite. It's hibachi. It's just Americans were like, no, teppanyaki is hard to say, I guess, and just made up another word. I have no idea.
Is that really just the difference?
I honestly don't know like what the origins of the word is. It's just like Americans call it hibachi. And I was like, sure.
I'll have to look this up later.
Yeah.
Man, I
You
should
let
have
me
had
know.
that as my Wikipedia segment. Like, darn.
But she's really upset because she sees a charge for the restaurant that she loves, and that she was not invited to. And Hen lies and says that she took Chimney there.
Mm-mm-mm.
And didn't invite everyone and didn't invite Karen because then like everyone would end up coming.
It would become a group thing.
And, you know,
Which
she's trying to
doesn't
save
make sense.
but she's trying to save money. And then it's like, ooh, this is a new side to you, like being frugal. So yeah. I really think the more like the like bad cop being like frugal, like organized, responsible, like think about in season 8 when Karen forgets her birthday and she's like, you're the most organized person I know.
Mhm.
I just kind of feel like
yeah,
that's who like she is
Karen
in
is.
that dynamic. Yeah.
She's a planner. She's type A. I mean,
Yep.
Hen can be too, but I don't.
Yeah.
But like,
I think it's different ways.
yeah, Karen is like extra that.
Oh yeah. She's like a literal
She's a
rocket scientist.
doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
She has a PhD. She's just like she's got everything together. Like
a doctor too.
I know. So she starts being suspicious that something's going on with Hen because like that was kind of a fishy cover up like story for why
Hen does not lie well.
she does not.
No.
Her and Chimney have that in common. So then Karen is like suspicious the rest of the episode, and then she finds like a piece of paper with like a woman's name on it and like meeting
Dates
places
and times, and
so then she goes over to Chimney's logically
of course,
because he can't lie. So like if he knows about it,
and he's the bestie, so like
Karen will now know about it if Chimney knows anything.
that wasn't even necessary as an interrogation.
No.
I think that like the season 5 lore drop is that Chimney also knew Karen first.
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Or yeah.
No, I remembered that too, and I like wrote that in my notes, and I was like, we don't get to see enough of Karen and Chimney because
No.
we do know later on that they knew each other first, and Karen was his neighbor, and it's just like I love Karen Chimney former neighbor bestieism. Like
they're so funny together.
they are. We need more of that
We
because
do.
it's like Karen kind of can let loose a little bit, and Chimney's just like Chimney. Like I don't know.
I think I need more characters drunk.
It is kind of interesting though, like who goes to who when they need to like get a little tipsy. Because like Karen goes over to Chimney,
Buck goes to Hen.
Buck goes to Hen. Yeah,
Mhm.
like Karen and Athena always goes over to see Hen and they have like a
Always
glass of
having
wine.
a wine night. Yeah.
And it's just like Karen and Hen are just like the good time gals. they love being social with a little drink and helping other people through their problems.
So, oh yeah, Karen finds this slip of paper and like makes this Also, unbelievable excuse. I think none of them are good at lying. Like, I'm not feeling well, so I'm not going to go visit one of our best friends who just got beaten almost to death.
Yeah.
Okay, girl. But this scene with her and Chimney is just so funny because I think it's just so quintessentially like both of them. But you get to see like a different side of them that you don't normally see because of their dynamic together. But like she comes in like it's an interrogation. Like, who is this woman?
she comes in hot. Like, tell me everything right now.
Like, she's cheating on me. And Chimney trying to have his besties back is like, she would never do that. And Karen's like, after the last time that she did it.
I would never do that again.
Yeah.
Like,
those were the vibes.
mm-hmm.
And then she brings up the teppanyaki because she's like, this is how I will know for sure. And he's like, I can't believe she's using me to lie about this. I love teppanyaki.
And they're not even drunk yet.
No, but I love this because both of them kind of like commiserate in their feeling of being left out about things, because Karen, when she and Hen were talking in the bedroom, and you know, she initially brought this up to Hen, and she was like starting to feel like really left out and kind of alone, which is I know another theme that we've seen a lot. Until Hen communicates and explains, we find out then that communication was a lie. But so then like Hen and Chimney feeling just kind of like left out and alone, Karen. And kind of
Karen.
I'm sorry, I always do that. I think I was looking at Hen.
It's okay.
The word.
I do the Ken Ren.
Yeah.
Or the I don't even know.
Ken and Karen I've done multiple times. I don't know why like their names specifically. So
Ken Karen.
Ren Hen.
No, Ren. Just you guys know what we're talking about, right? Yeah. So to have Karen and Chimney just like feel like kind of bonding over their feeling left out and like slightly abandoned, you know, because that is a touchy subject for Chimney as well, as we will see, or we did see, and we will see again. But it's just kind of like, it's heartwarming and also like, oh no, because you don't want Hen to like go down that same path that we did before in season 1 that was like so like out of character for Hen, even though that was like the first season. So like, but I think we all kind of consider it like OOC for her.
The cheating?
Yeah. Not like totally, but
I can't come up with a logical like reason that makes sense. Like the only thing that she's like, it was the moon. Like
the moon made me do it.
Yeah, I guess. Fuck. I have a very short list of things that I think are ever out of character on this show, and I think that might be one of them.
The moon. She's going back to the point of origin, the moon.
Oh no.
Maybe it'll release her from that curse of doing things because the moon made her do it anyway. I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know when this episode's gonna get released.
After the season starts.
Yeah.
Well, someone's gonna have to like make sure they actually did go to the moon.
It'll be the same day that 902 comes out.
Yes. We went
That's
to
a gamble.
The moon in 1969. Now 1968, like 1 year later.
So anyway.
Yes.
Anyway. They get wasted and are on just like the Hen hate train. And like, it's so funny because like she shows up to like collect her wife.
Oh my God. And Maddie's just
like,
there, like,
Maddie's just like, please,
I think this belongs to you.
Stop. Yeah. And they're like, we're tired of the lies and the betrayal.
And Chimney's just being like, supportive, like, yeah, the betrayal.
Yeah, but he's like, it's like he's been betrayed too. Like,
yeah,
it's just teppanyaki, bro. Like, please calm down. And that like she's lying, I guess, about not like cheat. Like, if she was cheating and not telling him about it, maybe he's like, the lies and the betrayal of not telling me that you're cheating. I have no idea.
It's like he would have rather her actually like have taken him out to teppanyaki
Yes.
as like the actual excuse.
Mm-hmm.
And then he wouldn't have been so like upset about her lying, like bringing him into the lies. But like he would have also spilled the beans as soon as Karen came in. So yeah.
Karen presents the evidence like, you're cheating. Who's this, and like, what's all of this? And she's like, it's Dr. whatever her fucking name is.
Imelda.
Sure. It's Dr. Imelda Royce. And like, I was meeting with her because of like, I wanted to know what it took to like
get into med school.
And then Karen is like, oh my God, that's not stupid. That's great. You'd be a great doctor. And then Chimney wants to die.
Yeah.
Just like
a little bit. Yeah.
Everything gets better for Karen immediately. And it's so much worse for Chimney.
Oh, you win some, you lose.
You win some, you lose some.
So like, it is kind of interesting though, that Hen decides to keep something so big like this to herself. And you kind of have to wonder, like, is she just afraid of like letting herself down or letting anyone else down just in case like she decides not to do it or she doesn't get in, which like,
well, she's just such an internal processor. That's just how she does things.
Mm-hmm. She's just like, she really has to like forage and gather all of the information and then like
make a pro-con list.
Yeah, like mull it over in her head. And then once she's already made the decision, then she brings it to someone else.
Yes.
And I think Karen would understand that. I do just kind of, I hate for them that Karen was so quick to think to like go to like, oh no, she's cheating.
I mean, I think it's fair though because she was cheated on before.
No, that's the thing. That's the thing. I hate that.
It's the checking the phone. It's the rummaging through the bag. It's the not confronting or just like. But I guess like, what are you gonna do? Yeah, I looked at your phone and I looked at these messages. Who's Imelda?
But I mean, she could have just done stuff to prove that it wasn't happening.
It's
to like trying to
thing.
assuage her suspicions. To be like, yeah, okay, that was nothing.
It's kind of the same thing. Karen is also gathering information, but she's doing it in just like a more external, like she processes it a little more externally than even Hen does.
Right.
And that's why she also like goes to Chimney once she's like gathered her evidence to make her case. Right. And I think she would then, if she didn't get the answers, like bring this up to Hen as well. But like just the fact that her first, like, I hate that Hen cheated in the first place to make Karen like that's her first thought is like, oh no, it's happening again. That's the part that I hate, just like that it happened, and that's what makes Karen, so kind of like wary and suspicious. But I think it is interesting like how they go about like gathering their information or their evidence, and then once they communicate with each other, and it's like not a big deal, and they're totally on the same page, and Karen is so supportive, and Hen just like still needs to process if that's even something that she wants. But so it's really sweet. Like again, when they're on the same page,
just most of the time. But then once Karen knows what's going on, she's so supportive, and then like the last shot we see of them is I think in the montage at the end when Karen's like putting the doctor coat that was like the joke coat from the previous episode like on her and calling her Dr. Wilson, and it's very cute. And I guess we're including Chimney in this because he doesn't really have a section,
right?
But Maddie is just like, aren't you happy for her? And he's like, I can't get past that she's leaving me. And like, even though it's not a done deal yet, but I think he just knows like she'll be good at it and like she'll succeed. Yeah. So obviously like that's a done deal.
And like when Hen makes her mind up about something, like she goes and she does it, and he knows that like if that's something she's been weighing, she's leaning towards it already anyways. And and it's like more abandonment for Chimney. So sad. Like,
those abandonment issues be popping right now.
yeah, especially after what we saw.
After
with-
Albert showing up. Yeah.
No. Oh, the poor guy. And it's just like, Chimney also doesn't do well with change.
No.
Like, he can adapt when necessary, like when forced to, basically, but he doesn't choose change. And we see that we've seen that time and time again. He doesn't like to rock the boat.
He likes to be comfortable.
This is me. I'm Chimney.
He loves routine.
Yeah.
He loves the comfort of his routines.
Yep. And I do also kind of just like a quick aside. I know, Hen was talking to Dr. Imelda Royce from, what was it? The episode that she did the thoracotomy. Which episode was that? Was that the last episode?
That's the last episode.
Okay. The one that got away. Thank you. And I think because she was so, Dr. Royce was so respectful of Hen in that moment and like calling her doctor. And even when she learned that Hen was just a paramedic, like she still viewed her with a lot of respect, even with the other guy who was being like so rude. And I think that probably really, besides all of like the ire that she was garnering about like the system not doing their job, I think that probably really helped spurred her on to like, this is something that maybe I should look into. That's it. So I like that there was a follow-up about that, I guess is what I'm saying.
As one of our listeners, we know you love a good procedural as much as we do. That's why we want to recommend a new podcast we've been enjoying.
It's called the One Chicago Podcast, and it's the official exclusive behind-the-scenes look at some of the most iconic TV series on right now: Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, and Chicago Med. All from USG Audio and Wolf Entertainment themselves, the folks behind Law and Order.
Each episode joins host and former Chicago cop turned Chicago PD producer Brian Lucci, as he's joined by the actors, producers, and writers behind the epic One Chicago universe, including
his longtime friend, S. Epatha Merkerson, to reflect on her extensive legacy in the Wolf universe, her powerful arc last season on Chicago Med, and her lighthearted goal of wearing more scrubs to work.
The episode also features Crystal Portillo, the special effects artist behind some of the most striking and realistic injuries on Chicago Med.
Check out the One Chicago Podcast app by searching for One Chicago Podcast in your favorite podcast app. That's One Chicago Podcast.
Should we talk about Josh?
We should talk about Josh.
Okay.
Let's give him something to talk about.
So this is kind of the follow-up that we get for Josh's storyline.
It's kind of it, right?
It's kind of it. I'm pretty sure. I don't think... Do we see him
I think we
actually
see
doing
him.
it in the next episode?
I think we do.
Oh.
Okay. There's a montage,
Yes.
montage
Okay.
at the end.
Yeah, I was like, am
Yeah.
I imagining a courtroom scene with Josh?
No,
really
it
thought
happened.
I
I was
was.
just trying to remember if it was this episode or the next episode.
No, it wasn't this episode, so I think it's the next
it's
one.
the next one.
Because he decides to testify.
Yes. Anyway, this is like the almost most of the resolution, or like I guess the beginning of the resolution, to the mugging and taking of dispatch arc for Josh. So we see him like talking to Maddie at dispatch because that's where they always talk.
It's social hour on the
Have
clock.
a be at a coffee or something sometimes, guys. They don't need to always have conversations at dispatch. Mix it up.
Well, they get coffee in the break room, but yeah.
No, or like happy hour. Like, what are you guys doing?
Exactly.
It could be like, get out of the actual work environment. Why are we
Wait.
gossiping here?
Wait, dispatch 118 happy hour with Maddie, Josh, Karen, Chimney. I need it immediately.
Is this your bottleneck episode? Bottleneck? Bottle episode?
Bottle.
Bottleneck.
I don't know. I just need it. I need that combo.
Yeah. Something happens at the bar.
Yeah, anyway, he's talking to Maddie and like, hey, did you get reached out to about like making a statement? And she's like, yeah, I think we all did. And he's like, no, they want me to like come in to the courtroom. Yeah, because everyone else was just like turning in a written statement of like, this is my encounter of like what happened in the situation. But they thought since there was such like a personal component to it because of what happened with Josh on the date with this guy. Having him actually come into the courtroom to make his statement would be like more powerful. So he was just like, I don't want to do it. Like, I hate the idea of like looking at him and talking about it. And she's like, why don't you talk to Frank?
Yeah.
I'm just like, does everyone go to Frank?
Yes. I was like, Frank mentioned. But yeah, Josh is so reticent to do that courtroom statement because he said, like, at first, not going makes him feel like a coward, but it still feels like Greg has all of the power over Josh. So Josh obviously feels very powerless, just like having to sit there and address what happened to him in front of the guy that did it. And we know Josh is really strong because he stood up and basically saved his life in the taking of Dispatch. So it's not that Josh is a coward, because he's not. He just feels so like he's one of those kind of people that wants to just like put it all behind him and just like move on. But it doesn't really work that way. And I think
so interesting.
Oh, are you more parallels maybe between Josh and Eddie? Shocker. You know, it just doesn't go away on its own. So,
and Michael.
Of course, the gay trifecta right there.
Oh my God.
I was trying not to say it, but it was too funny. I had to.
The big three.
The big three.
Jesus.
Eddie Sun, Michael Moon, Josh Rising. Okay, I'm sorry. I was trying to say that like not going is Josh doing a disservice to himself.
Yeah.
So that he can get that closure. So he thinks he doesn't need the closure, but that's what actually like help him move on and kind of like put it to rest and put it to bed and feel like that he just like feel better about himself for standing up for himself in that way, I think.
Yeah. And I think he's probably thinking a little bit of like how he felt like during the takeover when he was like, I should have like, this is my fault. Because like, I should have given the statement.
Still the responsibility aspect. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And so then like after he speaks with Maddie again, because at first she tells him like, you know, this guy's going to prison either way. Like, it's fine. You can not do it.
But it's like, just decide what you want to do.
Yeah. And then the second time she's like, think about what this means if you don't do this. And I think she means, because he's going to jail either way. But I think what Maddie means is like, think about what it means for you if you don't say your piece about this. Like, will you be able to like sleep peacefully, basically, and like absolve himself of that guilt, because it's not his fault, and Josh is carrying this responsibility for kind of no good reason. He just feels so powerless in that way that like he's made it out to be that everything that transpired was his fault, but it's not. So then after that conversation, he finally says, I'm gonna do it, and we love that for him.
I think he does kind of get the drive to do it after hearing what happens to Athena.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah, I think that's really important to point out. So,
well, it's because it's like something that happened to him. It's very similar to having to hear all of that, and it's kind of like now this way he has a voice to
use it.
Yeah.
Wait, that's another theme that we've seen as well, like finding your voice, using it, and your voice matters. Well, he put together that whole like your voice matters, like
I know,
for Maddie last year, right?
Yeah, he loves Glee so much.
He does. Oh, he was eating that up when it was on the air, like. But still, you're right, because like I think he identifies with Athena in that moment more than some other people can. Maddie does as well, because she's been in the same positions, and so I think they really understand, you know, what's happening there, and then that does spur him to like to find his voice and use it.
Are you good for Michael?
Yeah.
Go for Michael.
He's going into the microwave.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Have you guys ever had an MRI?
I think I have.
Yes.
It's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
If you don't like very loud noises or having to sit exactly still.
But also, especially because like with an MRI, you have to sit so still and you can't move. So you literally have no power to do, you can't do anything. So you are inherently like powerless. And it's also like a hurry up and wait and hope situation.
He's literally just like getting all of this like poked and prodded, all of these tests done. And then it's like there's just sitting there powerless, trying to figure out like what's going on. Is he actually better? And he's trying to like be hopeful about it. But
he says he's trying to be hopeful, but he also says like, I'm expecting the worst. And I'm like, that's not the positive attitude that we've been trying to like drag out of you. But I think
if you expect disappointment, then you'll never be disappointed.
I know, but he's been so like doom and gloom about all of that stuff, like expecting preparing. Okay, maybe there's a difference to preparing for the worst is what he said. So I think he's maybe learning to hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. And like, somewhere
this is the most optimistic we've seen him be,
which is saying something.
Well, I'm really not saying that much because he has not been optimistic at all.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, so he's getting this testing done, and like Athena calls and tries to say like I should be there, because she could tell that he's like nervous and anxious, and he's like, there's literally nothing to do. There's nothing for you to do because there's nothing for him to do.
But it is kind of so funny because I think we do kind of see a little bit of a perspective shift with him, like he maybe has a more positive outlook than he had been, because he was during the dinner with Bobby and Harry and May, when May was like negotiating with him and Michael ended up guilt tripping her because he pulled the brain tumor card. So like he's joking about it, which I think is like a more positive development.
I think that could go either way.
It could, but like he's joking about it with May specifically, and I think that's been like she's taken it so tough because she blamed herself for the conversation or how he took their conversation.
So then he gets in the elevator to like finally leave because all of his tests are finally done, and now all there's left to do is wait. And of course, that is when the blackout happens, and he gets stuck in an elevator and has a meet cute
because he's trapped and powerless.
One minute you could potentially be dying from brain cancer, the next minute you could meet
the love of your life. which I think kind of ties back into what Bobby said at that dinner, where Bobby said something about like you never see the worst coming. And on the flip side of that, you also never see the good stuff coming either, because it just like it's a little serendipitous. So like you have the two sides of the same coin. Like within, he's still in the medical building, like he hasn't left yet. So like within even that whole moment, and I think it's really sweet because David, who is David. Sorry, I feel like I just really said that like Alexis. David. L. So David, he says like, well, on the bright side, and it's just like, oh, this is someone who thinks positively and thinks, has that perspective of, looking for the good and looking for the silver lining in potentially bad situations, which I think is something that Michael really needs. So I'm like, oh, it's like a perfect match. It's really sweet. And there's like flirty banter right away. Michael is not smooth at all. And you see him when he's asking like, so do you have someone you need to call?
Do you have people who care about you?
It's so bad. And then he like rolls his eyes to himself. He's like, oh, that was cringe. Like, like he's having an out of body experience, like watching himself try to flirt with this very attractive, like doctor guy. Mm-hmm. Like, it's so funny. But it's like, what a serendipitous moment, because they're kind of like, it is a meet cute. Mm-hmm. It kind of, I don't know why, and I know it's not the same thing, but it kind of reminded me of the moment with Chimney and Tatiana, but as she's getting on the elevator and Chimney's like, I'll catch the next one. And the next one was Maddie. This is not the same because Chimney wasn't on that elevator, but it just kind of reminded me of that a little bit. And also that was stuck and trapped in the elevator. I don't know.
Okay, we're moving on. So anyway, his meet cute gets really interrupted and he has to run away like Cinderella, but he leaves nothing behind for David to find him.
And David was about to like ask for his number too.
Like it was about to happen.
Listen, and then Michael gives the
priorities,
call and, like, boom.
Right?
Yes, because that's his family.
Yeah, that's his family. So picks up the kids and dutifully, takes them and tries to prepare them as well as he can and to be there for Athena. And then he is there for Athena and the kids. And then he's there for Bobby in a very ill-advised, just only man brain could come up with this like solution to get out some anger. Like, what? Go to the rage room.
I think this works for both of them.
Oh yeah.
This is a thing for both of them, just to kind of like get out of their heads, right?
But they know it's dumb because they're like, Athena's gonna kill us. Like, yes,
but she's not there right now.
Do it. Like, why do you think she wants to come home from the hospital to her house torn up? Like, men.
I don't know. Something about, well, I think it relates back to the theme of the episode, because like I know, because then, Michael and Bobby are exerting their power over this non-sentient fireplace and just like crushing it to bits. But then Michael is able to take that and make it into something productive by rebuilding it. So kind of like rebuilding it for him, for like rebuilding himself a little bit as well. But I do think it is really lovely that we finally see Bobby leaning on Michael a little more. We've seen it here and there, but there's been so much of Michael leaning on Bobby or Michael being angry at Bobby.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it's nice to see that reciprocated to show like how strong their bond is. Like even when Michael does like lose it on Bobby and is mad that Bobby's like taking his spot and taking his family, even though he's not. And it's just like, it's so, when it's equal like that, it's really lovely. I do also really like just a couple brief moments about Michael and the kids, like when he's preparing Harry and May to see Athena and just trying to like be realistic with them. So like he is kind of treating them like grown-ups. It's a nice point of growth from what we've seen before, because like Michael has been so concerned about not having his kids grow up too soon and them seeing things or being exposed to things that they don't have to be, especially in the dinner scene when they're talking about Athena being on the case. So she's taking on more hours, and Harry's like, what case? And Michael and Bobby like share a look like, should we tell him what's going on or not? And then May just kind of like blurts it out because she saw it on the news. So just kind of like,
yeah, because you're not going to talk about the serial rapist with the 10-year-old.
No. No, but like, just kind of, and they don't have to say that, but like letting him in a little more to like more grown up things, I think is kind of a point of growth. Because I keep going back to that conversation or argument that Michael and Bobby had last season when Harry ran away to the station and Michael was like, he should be reading comic books and da-da-da-da-da. And now
not being
he's
raised
like,
in your image or something like that.
Yeah, now he's kind of like treating Harry a little bit more adult, I guess. It's part of the parent-child themes.
Okay. I just was like, he had to.
Well, yes, but
he
like
couldn't
that's
just lie about it. Like he had to prepare him to see his mom. He couldn't just be like, well, I'm not going to let you see her like that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I'm just connecting it to the theme because we've seen this time and time again. That's all. Okay. So with Athena, I think she's still really feeling powerless. Surprise. Because the one that got away from the last episode, and she's taking on a lot of that guilt and responsibility for this guy getting back out on the streets, even though it's not her fault. And so, but she feels powerless because it's powerless against the bureaucratic red tape, right? Because it was the feds that let him go. It wasn't anything of her station or her police or anything like that. But we know she's like kind of a dog with a bone, and she's not going to let this go, especially because there's people in danger. And this really just I think kind of plays into one of like going back to Athena Begins, like why she wanted to be a cop so she could protect people and do the right thing. So when someone's out there that she knows is out doing the wrong things, she really gets like it becomes very personal for her. And let's see. So like when she's interviewing like all of these different women who have been attacked, and she finally gets like this nugget of something of a lead, this nugget of a lead that they can try to track because he took a trophy or whatever. She's like, and she says something to the effect of like, it feels like nothing, but like nothing's all we've got. So it can't be worse than that. And I mean, that still kind of plays into this powerlessness of, not having anything to go on, but still staying on the track. And basically, to skip forward, when she goes to investigate the self-storage, just so they can, check things out and see if anything will help them get a little more leeway in this case to help them out. Athena has a strong feeling, and we know Athena's gut instincts are never wrong. Never, ever. She has like the best instincts out of everyone. However, most of the time.
Sob stories.
There's an exception to every rule. There is an exception to every rule.
That was not Athena.
Not my Athena.
Hashtag. Okay, I will give you that. That to me is the exception. Because
unless they were just like trying to extrapolate more of her process and showing like some of the times when she's wrong, but like it's like the obvious stuff too. Like I don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't a very successful this is when she's
land.
Following like the wrong lead.
Yeah.
But it's anyways, that's not this episode. But in this instance, and especially a lot with season 3, we've seen a lot of like going with your gut sort of things. Actually, I kind of think since like season 2, and I believe we talked about this a lot with the other episodes that Kristen Rydell wrote in like 211, 213 about going with your gut. And I know we talked about Chimney not having a gut instinct, but Athena does, just to like contrast. However, so she has this gut feeling that this is the place where the guy stores his stuff.
This is just Chimney doesn't have any gut instincts because they got stabbed out of it. They got
surgically removed. Wow. We talked so much about how Chimney did not have any bad feelings about Jason, and it's just like,
no,
maybe the
honey.
rebar took the guts out of his brain.
Anyway, sorry.
No, it's okay. Anyway, so she has this gut instinct that this self-storage is where this guy Hudson is kind of like hiding out or hiding all of his stuff. And unfortunately, she continues to go with her gut, which is correct, because she sees the open door and it's the power outage. So like nothing's open, or it's not supposed to be open. Nobody's supposed to be there. And she does not wait for her backup. She just goes right in. And as much, yeah.
I just want to point out the domino effect of this fucking power outage. Because like, oh my God. All of this because of that one lady, and then the power outage happens, and then like everything just like goes downhill for everyone.
Yeah.
The 118 has a long ass fucking day. The guy gets stuck in the walk-in freezer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Michael got a positive out of that. He got his meet cute.
I think that's the only positive that came out of it.
Yeah. And then there's the and then what happens to Athena? I mean, if there was like maybe some light in there, maybe like none of this would have happened.
The guy, the manager of the self-storage would be there, and she could have asked him stuff.
Harry gets kidnapped because of this fucking woman.
Because of the lady who stole the tree trimming truck. Everything is her fault. It's all her fault. And she was kind of crazy. Like, she was a little maniacal driving that. Like, she's like, ha ha ha, look who has the power now. And I'm just like,
oh God.
Whoa.
Anyway, there's your domino effect. I don't know.
No, it is kind of crazy how all of this like transpires from that. And
this guy wouldn't be like creeping around in that storage unit and then actually getting the jump on her. Like, I don't know.
I know, like,
it's kind of frustrating.
This is the downside of Athena being a lone wolf.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't have someone to have her back right there, which like sometimes you need.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going into a dark, maze-like, labyrinthian storage place facility.
Maybe just in general, if you're investigating a serial rapist, take a buddy with you.
I know, and it's just like, but like, actually, I mean, this is why we're called the buddy system. Like, you should be taking a buddy with you. You should have someone have your back the whole time.
Should be listening to us all the time.
Right?
Take a fucking buddy with you, girl.
Please. Like, especially after she listened to the stories of all of those other ladies who had been attacked, and it's just like, why?
And it's also like
when you do this.
Yeah, and then when you think about it, I mean, I'm not saying like the man like went and like mapped out the storage unit or anything, but like it's kind of telling that like he's got a good, not a good sense of direction, but like, you know, he was using like
he's been there before.
And he's been there before. And like it's kind of like he knows what he's doing. He knows where to go. And
home
she
field
does not.
advantage.
Yeah. He does have the upper hand on her in that aspect. And like all of so it's the home field advantage, it's the power outage that's going against her. It's the fact that she doesn't have anybody right there for backup. Like, she tells dispatch, and thank God she does. Yeah. Like, I know that's just policy, you know, just like what you do. But like, that would have been a moment, or maybe, you know, because if she thought he was in there,
she would have requested for backup, right?
Well, I think did she request for backup, or no, she calls, she communicates with dispatch, and she says like she's going in for a business check. So I don't know if she thinks like if he's there or just like someone.
I think she calls for backup right before he jumps her.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think she discovers the stuff. Yeah. And then
Yeah. And it's just like, at what point should she have just kind of like retreated and like held out right in front of the doorway?
That's what I'm saying. I would have camped out by the door.
I mean, unless there's multiple entries and exits, but I would think that would be like the one, because he propped the door open, you know? So like, that's what I probably would have done. But
then you have the element of the surprise if you're waiting right outside that door.
Exactly. So like, her gut instincts are right.
But there were like, windows, right? So like, it's kind of like he could look down. Yeah, there were windows. He could look down. He sees the patrol car.
Oh, I thought this was all like one level.
No, it's multiple levels.
Oh,
because in the
you're right.
It's multiple levels, but I don't remember him looking out a window. I thought.
No, I'm saying like there are windows and like
Mhm.
potentially he could.
Oh, okay.
That's probably how he knew that she was there in the first place.
Mm.
Because like when backup does come in, like you see like it's like that aerial view, like it's going up the side of the building
Yeah.
and like the flashlights and all that, and you see everyone.
Which
like,
was a really
looking for
cool
her.
shot. I love those
Yeah.
kind of like exterior shots where you can
Yeah.
see into the interior. Like and I think the self-storage sequences are kind of some of the best of the directing in this episode. Like that shot that you were just saying, that jump scare shot of Hudson and like bathed in the red light. I thought
cool.
was really cool because it could just kind of like pans over to him and he's there. And it kind of reminded me of episode 4 of season 15 of Supernatural, Atomic Monsters, where it was like the bunker just like had the emergency red lights going on. And it was just like Dean being very like intimidating. I think that one was also directed by Jensen Ackles.
Well,
so just kind of like similarly menacing.
What about 10:03, like the Demon Dean stuff? Was he also bathed in like red light?
Yeah.
Also,
that too.
Was that also directed?
Or was that what I was thinking of? I thought it was Atomic.
No, there's two. There's
okay.
I don't know if it's Atomic.
Soul Survivor
was directed by him. Was directed by Jensen Ackles. Yeah. So that's cool. Anyways, so that shot just reminded me. I was like, I've seen that on Supernatural. Just like bathed in that red light. And I just like, it's a really cool shot. I don't like the character, but it's a cool shot of the character that we don't like.
Oh, he almost always directed episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is a pattern.
Yeah, because I think they got to, because they were filming 1 and 2, so he got to do pre-production before they started shooting episode 1, because it would take like a week ahead. Anyways, but yeah, so I really like the directing in this sequence as well. I thought it was really cool, and then we get like the bird's eye view when the fire truck and all of the other police cars show up with all of like the red and blue lights and everything. But I think what this is the strongest in, especially for like character analysis, is everyone else's reactions when they're hearing Athena in distress with being attacked by this guy. And it's so like there's not a lot of words happening, but there's a lot of emotion being expressed, and I think done very well. And from everyone at the 118, so not just Maddie on the phone, but like Josh keys in, and like you see shots of other dispatchers as well. So I don't know if they like put it on speaker or if they just like went into that channel.
I think it was like all on the same channel, and that's why they were telling people to switch.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense then. And just kind of like them being dispatch, because dispatch is always just kind of like they have power to help, but they also aren't, kind of like what Abby says in season 1, where she's not like there to help. I think Abby said that, or
she says something,
or was that Maddie?
No,
one of them said
it's
something.
Abby.
Yeah,
it's something about like wanting to know.
No. Yeah,
it's there. It's in the first episode, but I don't really remember the quote.
Okay, but you know what I was talking about.
Yeah.
So like they're doing what they can to help, but they obviously don't have enough power to stop it because they're not there. And especially with Maddie, because for some reason she's speaking into her mic, but it's not getting her through. However, Athena's mic is still keyed on, so they can hear everything that's going on. So there's a malfunction there. So she is actually like powerless because she can't even like help say something in this way. But then you have the 118, where everybody, when they get the call over the radio comms, and they're just like, when they hear the 727L30, everyone's just like stops in their tracks and they look at Bobby and they're like, oh, and they go into action. And they're kind of like in the same boat as dispatch, because they also can't do really anything until they get there but listen. And like nobody even has eyes of what's going on. And Bobby is just like a complete wreck, but he's holding it together.
And Chimney is like telling him, oh, they're telling us to switch. And he's like, no, because like Bobby's going to sit there till like the last of it.
yeah, you just like see so much of like the emotion going on Bobby's face, and just like the not knowing. I think that's also been kind of a theme that we've seen a little bit, the not knowing what you're going to be walking into yet, and everybody else's reactions to his reaction as well while they're en route in the engine, like Buck and Chimney, just kind of like they're being so nervous as well.
Yeah, and then you have like the reaction to the gunshot when he hears the gun go off, and like that's even worse because like that's like you could see like how shocked and frozen he is at that point. Like it's like you can't like at that point now you're definitely thinking the unimaginable, like that she probably could be dead, or that's what he might find.
Which is also like what he says to Michael is like, you can never see the worst coming. And I think all of that's going through his head, all of the loss that Bobby has experienced before. And just like, the tomorrow is never promised Bathena slogan, right? And that's definitely plaguing on him, and everyone else is just like kind of out of their mind and beside themselves, but also wanting to be there for Bobby as well and be the support system that he needs. And then when they finally get there and Bobby walks in the building, even before they clear it, he's just like, nope, I'm going in. I'm seeing my wife. I'm finding her. And I think he goes in like with an axe.
Yes,
with like
they're all grabbing
the
axes.
hatchet. Yeah. And Athena, when they find her, like she's his only priority. And even when they find the guy, he's like, he can wait. Because he's just like, no, like blinders on, Athena only. And he gets in the ambulance with her. And then
that did remind me of Buck a little bit with the baby in the pipe call.
Yeah.
When he's like saying that the girl who like flushed the baby down the toilet can like, she doesn't need help.
Yeah. Like they did this bad thing.
Yeah.
Like they don't deserve to do whatever. You're so right. That is, ooh, pilot callbacks. Wow.
Yeah.
We're
you
going
don't get
deep
to decide
here.
who lives and dies.
And who tells your story?
Oh my God.
We're pretty much at the hospital, and Athena is recuperating, and then we see, everyone come in and see her and check on her, and it's really kind of sweet because Harry, even though Michael like gave them the rundown, like Harry is still really nervous, and he kind of stands back a little bit because he says he doesn't want to hurt her. And I think this is kind of like the first time that he sees Athena in like, kind of human, like not superhuman Athena mom. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of goes back to like, the curtain being drawn back a little bit. And May, it's wonderful to see May like kind of have such a 180 from like her college essay, because she sees her mom and she says like she's so proud of what she's done and everything. And she says she sees her. And I thought that was important. She's so proud of her mom. And then they have prom pictures, and it's really, really sweet. And yeah, May wants to take pictures with her mom because she wants to remember how like badass her mom is and how proud she is of her. And they all live happily ever after. The end. Until the next episode.
And the next one. And until season 5, there's no ending for this. Anyway.
Did I miss anything?
No. I think you got everything.
Okay, great.
All right. It's gay time.
This is our treat. Think of it like it's a reward. It's a reward. This is your treat for listening and having to relive the Athena storyline. Here's slow burn.
And if for some reason you're new here and you're going, slow burn section about Buck and Eddie in an episode where Buck and Eddie aren't really on screen that much. My sweet summer child. Everything's about Buck and Eddie. If you look hard enough.
You don't even have to look that hard.
No, you don't.
Like To be honest.
No, you don't. So I would like to talk about how Hen says, as her excuse for not inviting Karen to go to Teppanyaki with her and Chimney, which didn't happen, but this was the excuse. You know how it is. I invite you. So Chimney invites Maddie, right? Because couples and couples. Maddie invites Buck because that's her brother. Buck invites Eddie. And now we've got to invite Athena and Bobby. And next thing you know, you're looking at a dinner bill roughly the size of a mortgage payment. So it was like couple, and then sibling, couple. So
no, it's just like
a gay recognizes gay.
Like there are only 2 of those that like don't fit with the rest of the pattern, and one was Maddie and Buck because siblings, like blood family.
Yeah. Yes.
So like doesn't really count. But then like Buck and Eddie, who are not blood related and are not technically a couple. So it's just like, super interesting that that's how that, flow chart went.
Yeah.
Right.
Very interesting.
Just so interesting. And I love that that was part of her excuse.
Yes.
Like her fake excuse. And it's so based in reality that Karen was just like,
yeah,
actually, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Nope. That tracks. That totally tracks. You're right.
I believe it. She's like, oh, never mind. You're right. Buck would have to invite Eddie.
What are you going to do? It's a double date. What's he going to do? Fifth wheel? No, now it's a triple date.
I mean, when you have 2 third wheels, doesn't that make it a double date?
Yeah. Unless there's already 4 people there.
So there would be
then
like
it's a triple date.
If you have 2 fifth wheels, wouldn't that make it a triple date?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sill's like, why are we doing math? I hate it here. Okay,
this
moving
is
on.
analysis. This is not the fucking.
This is like calculus.
Buddy calculus 101.
Oh, God.
I ban math on the buddy system.
I mean, generally we do too, except when it benefits.
The only time it's allowed is when we're trying to count how many times they use the word of the episode title in the fucking.
Which was how many times? 25 or something?
Yeah, something ridiculous.
Crazy.
Like that. Then when Karen and Chimney are drinking and she's like making her case for why Hen is cheating on her and here's all the proof. He's like, that doctor. He's like, they had a meet cute over an open chest wound. Oh, I know some people who had a meet cute over an open
leg wound. And you could say sparks flew.
You could.
Still, you want to laugh so bad.
No.
And then, just a very simple parallel shot. I think it's very interesting that I thought this was later than it was, but it's literally 2 episodes apart. So it was fresh on their mind. But the elevator shot of like when David and Michael get in and it's their meet cute and it's like they're like looking at each other and the elevator closes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the same exact shot in 401. This is 317. In 401, all of the 118 are on the elevator. They all get out. Buck and Eddie stay on because they're going up to the roof, I think. And they do the same, like, look at each other, elevator close. Like these shots have been put together next to each other so many times. And they're just like, spot the difference. There is none.
There is no. It's the same picture.
So it's
bunch of gays in the elevator. I don't know.
It's just one of those things where it's like, are we intentionally making these parallels, or is that just a coincidence? But it literally happened 2 episodes apart.
3 gays and 1 bisexual. Sorry. Correction. Just in case. Don't come at me. Because you know how people get.
Have to be specific.
He's under just the gay umbrella.
You know how people get, though, okay?
I know. There's no bi erasure here. This is the bisexual podcast.
True. I mean, even if it wasn't like an intentional pairing of those 2 shots, like it's just such a classic rom-com-y trope.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because they use it for Michael and David, which is an actual meet cute. Like, come on. And they kind of did it with Chimney and Tatiana, but like had it go the other way. Like they subverted that, which was like very season 2 of them. So like it's a tropey romantic-y thing. Hello.
Mm-hmm. And then my last one that I have before I think of things when you guys say stuff, probably, maybe.
This is Han's favorite section. Well, it's all of our favorite section.
I know, but this is the section where I get brain blasts.
Yeah.
Most of the other ones I don't. And if I have brain blasts in the other sections, it's for this section.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that thing that I don't know. I hope the people listening love. Maybe it's annoying. I don't know. It's where I compare reactions between Platonic and whatever these two have going on.
I love this game.
So if you want to look at Chimney's reaction to the idea of Hen leaving as his partner, leaving the 118 to become a doctor, and you want to look at Buck's reaction when Eddie leaves the 118 in season 5. You can look at season 8 too. I think it's a little more drastic and not 1-to-1 there because he's like
leaving. And
there is a direct parallel there again with Hen and Chimney that we'll get to later.
Mm-hmm.
But I think season 5 specifically, Buck is like literally treating it like a breakup.
He's devastated.
Yes.
Like actively devastated.
Yes. And then he acts fucking weird about it. And it's such a different way where Chimney's just like, I don't really want you to leave as my partner because I like having you my partner. And Buck is acting like, well, you're gonna come back because you belong by my side. He basically says that.
But that's kind of the difference, though. Like we were saying that Chimney kind of knows that Hen would be great at it. That's what she needs to and wants to do, and he like has already come to terms with that.
Yeah,
but he's sad for himself. But with Buck, it's like, this is where you belong.
He does a lot of weird shit. So like,
he just
no, it's what sucks because like I wish you had said this earlier because I remember like I think I texted you guys about like when I was doing my season 5 rewatch and like 5 and 11, like the things that Buck and Eddie do because they're not like
normal
together in the same place as partners. I'm just like, it's not normal. Like their actions are crazy to me.
They're acting out.
they're basically they're acting out. It's just
because they don't have their like center of gravity.
There's the whole like the Lucy aspect of it all. Like that's
But Chimney even says literally when he finds out that this is even an idea that is happening, he's like, oh, I hate this, basically out loud in front of Hen. Buck would never. No, he's gonna let that percolate.
The thing is, like,
until he says something insane months later
bursts out of him.
Yeah.
Unintentionally.
Like, when he's over there at Eddie's place for the dinner that Taylor's at, and he like corners Eddie in the kitchen and is like,
it's like something you belong at the 118.
Yeah, it's like you look tired. And
he's like, when you come back, and he's like, Eddie's like, Buck, you need to let it go. Like, I've moved on. You should too. He's like, that's
a breakup.
But he's like, it's not where you should be.
Yeah.
And it's like, he's so certain, and he can't just like, there's just the actions and the behaviors, like because they're both rooted in like we know that Chimney and Buck share the abandonment issues, right? So like their attachment style is similar and their weird acting out is similar, but it's you're just looking at like platonic besties who know that like even outside of that, their dynamic will stay the same. They won't be working together, and that'll suck because they won't be spending as much time together.
Their friendship and partnership isn't threatened.
No. Meanwhile, Buck is just like, well, obviously this will go back to normal because there's no other option. The other option is death. Like, he's so just not normal about it at all.
Meanwhile, Buck is outside Eddie's window with a boombox playing You Belong With Me by Taylor Swift. Like, oh my God. Come back to the 118.
It's just classic. One of these things is not like the other. And I think actually that should be the sub-segment that I call it. things is not like.
I love that.
Anyway,
One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong.
one of these things just isn't straight, isn't platonic.
I guess like also the difference is like Chimney's losing, like Chimney and Buck both lose the people that like I guess ground them, right? But like
Yeah.
Chimney is still kind of sort of, he can still ground himself.
Well, and he has Maddie.
Yeah.
And he has Maddie. Buck doesn't have.
Buck has Eddie to do
No, but,
all
like,
of it.
Well,
And he
yeah.
has Maddie to talk to about this, to be like, I can't believe she's leaving me. But it's like, well, she's still there. So like he's still grounded in that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's not like, oh, when Maddie leaves, that's a completely different story.
Oh, yeah.
that
Yeah.
we'll get to.
That is
But-
more, and that
Yes.
is more akin to like Buck and
Buck
Eddie.
and
Lu-
Eddie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, the difference. Platonic versus not platonic. I love that game. Speaking of non-platonic, I think we have a few Bathena parallels. I love Buddie Bathena parallels. So kind of going back to when Bobby is hearing all of the everything going on with Athena being attacked, and we see his face and reaction when the gunshot goes off is very similar. And just like how he's like drenched in just like a bucket of cold water of just like,
Mhm.
oh my God, just like his world stops, right? So also because he hears it, he doesn't see it, he's not there, he can't do anything about it. So that is very similar, I think we'll see in 506, which is Brawl in Cell Block 911. Got it. I said it right.
Wow.
Points for me throughout this whole episode. This was the redemption I needed. But that's beside the point. So in 506, when Buck is inside the hospital, he is separated from Eddie and he hears the gunshot goes off and his world stops. And his only thought is, oh my God, Eddie. And like starts to run to
Need to
Eddie.
put those reaction shots next to each other. Actually.
We do need to do that. It is the same thing. It's the same face, pretty much. It's the
Yeah.
same emotion being portrayed. Just like, oh my God, my world stopped. The world stopped turning. I stopped breathing. Nothing can happen until I make sure that my person is okay. And I also, to continue this a little bit with Bobby's whole, like, he can wait, just like not having it, like this Hudson guy, bad news, he can wait. It kind of was a little like Eddie's do more in, what was it, 6-10 in a Flash when they're bringing Buck to the hospital. And it's just like that air of authority of, again, like 611, excuse me. It just kind of like that air of authority, but also like, I'm not letting anyone go until I make sure that my person is okay, which is still kind of the same thing. So it's kind of interesting that we get like both a Buck parallel and an Eddie parallel in that way a little bit. The Eddie one might be a little more of a stretch, but, and then to maybe lighten it up a little bit, I just thought it was so funny when they're on their way to the hot air balloon and and Buck brings up the, it's so romantic. Like hot air balloons are so romantic until you have to call 911. And I would just like to take a moment to focus on Eddie's face in that, because I think when he's like, oh, did Maddie tell you that? I think he knows that was not Maddie that told him that. Because the way he says it, like, did Maddie tell you that? Like, so disbelieving, like, off the jump. And then Buck's just like, no, someone else. And it's like Eddie already has, like, so many preconceived notions about Abby. And it's like, he doesn't like her from the jump. And it's going to be so fun for us in the next
foreshadowing
episode.
It's foreshadowing of his responses in the next episode.
Exactly. No, it's just like, I know who you're talking about. I don't like her. Oh, she told you this? Okay. Like, just like disregard everything that Abby
Non-zero
told you.
chance that he doesn't know about the aborted hot air balloon date.
I know. I'm like, Buck just told him everything, or someone told him everything.
Absolutely. I'm just Chimney told Eddie Buck's life story, like on his first day of work.
Yes.
It's like, I hear you're a great guy and you're going through a hard time right now. Your girlfriend left you. I'm like, Chimney absolutely gave him the entire Buck and Abby saga.
He spilled all of the beans so quickly. Oh. So, of course, like, Buck or like Eddie knows that was not Maddie. It's just his face is so just like unimpressed, and that will continue, and it's great. And then I think my last little one is when they're at the down power lines. Like, oh, Eddie sure knows a lot about someone being electrocuted, which may or may not come in handy. Just saying. Sparks fly. I don't know. That one's a grasp of straws.
I'm so done.
I'm done. You can go now.
Well, we never talked about. Oh no. Well, there's no reason to talk about it, I guess. But I guess see you next time for the culmination of the cliffhanger. Anyway, I don't know because.
Oh yeah, we didn't actually talk about Abby.
Yeah,
we did us not to.
Yes, we did.
We did kind of a little bit.
It was.
But I was like, oh, the foreshadowing section.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really do kind of love how much they were bringing Abby, like in the last couple of episodes, especially with Red in the last episode, the one that got away as well. It's just like Abby is just like swirling in Buck's brain and in our brains, and it's just like, okay, well now we finally get to see her, and we get to see how other people react to her, which is so fun for us. And I think something
just me and Eddie, number one Abby haters.
Yeah, I think
the next episode.
And between the two of you, I'm not sure who comes out on top, actually.
I don't know.
Join us next week to find out.
There you go.
Who takes the championship?
I thought you were gonna say who takes the title, but I mean,
find out next week who takes the title of Abby's number one hater. Ding ding ding.
Perfect.
Remember, don't go on a hot air balloon.
But if you do,
take a buddy with you.
Thank you for listening to the Buddy System podcast.
Can't get enough of the buddies? Subscribe to our Patreon for access to our Discord community, full reaction videos, and even more exclusive content.
And if you really want to make our day, leave a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
Please come yap with us on your favorite social media platform.
We're at Buddy System Pod everywhere. That's BUDDIE System Pod.
Catch you next time. And don't forget, bring a buddy with you.